Hello everyone, welcome to round number 4 of the 2013 Action Sports Grand Prix Championship Series. Round number 2 back in May was canceled due to extreme weather conditions, and round number 3 back in June we experienced technical difficulties that kept us from filming. But we are back here in July, the heart of summer, for round number 4 here at Action Sports. We have great track conditions in store for you. The rain that we received a couple days before the race has made track conditions in prime condition. Things are starting to dry out now as we move to our final session of the day, the ATVs. We're going to see some of those riders here in just a minute. Once we get started, we're going to do a 45 to 50 minute race here at Action Sports. Some of the best ATV riders in the area duking it out here for the 2013 title. As we take a look at our key class today, our ATV C class, Brandon Thompson with the points lead. A second and a first gives him 39 points and the points lead heading into today's action aboard the Yamaha. In the second place position in the point standings after the 2 rounds that we were able to complete, Tyler Miller. A first and a second gives him a 39 point total. That ties him for first with Brandon Thompson heading into today's action. Miller also aboard the Yamaha from Albany, Ohio. And in third place, it's a Yamaha sweep for the ATV C class. A fourth and a third for Jordan Pfizer gives him 35 points, 4 points in back of your leaders heading into today's action. Pfizer coming back from a big crash last year at a local race, had to be taken to the hospital. He is back here for today's racing. So we take a look at our Session 7 classes, our Pro class, our B class, the C class, 30 plus, 40 plus, as well as our utility machines. Mainly four-wheel drive machinery here at Action Sports for the utility riders as we get ready to start here at Action Sports. Green flag is up. A and B class off the line. Looks like the B class rider, Tyler Miller, with the hole shot, but sweeping around the outside is Matt Pierce, your Pro class rider. And it looked like Colton Longstreth was in there as well. As we move now to row number 2. Looks like maybe our vet riders. I believe that's Jeff Norris, maybe? No, Rick Baker with the hole shot. Mike Charlton running into the number 2 spot. We move back to row number 3 now. This is our C class. Who's going to get the jump in there? That might be Norris. Larry Gilbreth in the number 2 spot runs wide aboard the KTM. Row number 4 now. This is our utility and our youth production class. Terry James aboard the Can-Am with the hole shot. Back to the head of the pack now for the completion of lap number 1. Cole Shiflett into the number 1 ride in your Pro class. So he's put the pass on Pierce, I believe, unless we miss Pierce. Check in for lap number 1. Tyler Miller leads the way in your B class as he now checks into the finish line to complete the first lap of racing. Looks like back in the number 2 spot, about 10 or so seconds off the back of Miller, Colton Longstreth aboard the 156. Longstreth had a big crash right before this race. Did some damage to the machine. Luckily he was alright, but he had a big get off. So we did miss Pierce now as Pierce checks in for the lead. Pierce pitching it sideways up and out of the mini gravity cavity here at Action Sports, out on the main portion of the motocross track. Pierce well out front as here comes Shiflett now in the number 2 spot. Shiflett, a few years ago, one of the top mini ATV pilots. He's dabbled back and forth between ATVs and bikes the last couple years. Looks like he's settled into the quads for the time being, and Shiflett's making it work. As we move back to the B class, Tyler Miller still out front aboard the 64 machine. Miller starting to come into his own aboard the Yamaha. Last year a rough go of it in the C class. He actually started out the year in the C class. He decided to make the jump up to the B division. He's done quite well so far. as Longstreth continues to run in the number 2 spot aboard the 156. Couldn't make out the number of a rider in third. Maybe I'll get it once he comes back down the hill. Might be one of our vet riders. Possibly Mike Charlton. We move to the C class now. Brandon Thompson out front on the 390. So Thompson, your points leader, we marqueed the C class at the beginning of the show. Thompson out front. I believe that's Rick Baker, boy, the 795. I believe that was Charlton, rather, that checked in before Thompson came through on the motocross track. As Jordan Pfizer now checks in at the number 14. So where's our other C-Class rider? I believe that's, it was Thompson as well as Pfizer. If you look at Jesse James, no, not the bike builder. Jesse James, we got father and son out here, action sports in the utility classes. So we're back in once again with Pierce. So he heads back out on the motocross track. I believe he is now on lap number 3 here at Action Sports. So he makes his way around. Shiflett not too far behind. Shiflett's going to make his way around. We're actually going to make our way to a commercial break. We're going to be right back here at Action Sports. Things still unchanged here at Action Sports as we resume back to racing action. We are at round number 4 here in the 2013 season. Session number 7, the ATVs. It looks like Brandon Thompson has made his way into the B class row. From row number 3, Thompson leads the way in your C class. As Rick Baker continues to circle in the Vet 30 plus class, I believe. A lot of elevation change, a lot of turns here at Action Sports that really suits a quad rider's hang off the side style. As Jordan Pfizer checks in aboard the number 14, trying to make his way through some of the slower riders, like Larry Gilbreth checks in aboard the 989 KTM. I believe that's is that a Max? It's a two-stroke, I know that much. Didn't quite make it out as Pierce checks in for another lap of racing. Pierce aboard the 939. One of the top riders in the 28 plus A class. That 28 plus A class in the Grand National Cross Country Series. He's taking those skills right here to Action Sports. As Jesse James checks in once again aboard his utility machine. Miller back in once again on the 64 Yamaha for the B class lead. Looks like he's trying to step it up. Somebody must have told him that Thompson is coming. Here's a look at our youth production rider. That's Connor Conkle. Conkle, a winner here in 2012 at Action Sports in the youth ATV ranks. Making a jump up to the youth production class as here comes Brandon Thompson, still leading the way in the C class. Conkle, like I said, youth champion, youth ATV champion here at Action Sports last year. Taking the one-step transition between the youth and the big bikes, which is this youth production class. As he continues to motor along here in a couple years, we will see him aboard the big quads, I have a feeling. It's Colton Longstreth hanging off the side, throwing some roost towards our camera. Still continues to roll in the number 2 spot in the B class. As Rick Baker checks in one more time. There's Terry Batman James. If you ever happen to come out to Action Sports and you see the 228 Can-Am, just make sure to yell Batman, he'll hear you. As we continue to roll here at Action Sports. Gilbreth runs the C class. One of the older riders. I think he's eligible to run the vet classes. He's running the C class, though he likes to run with the young kids. A Shiflett checked back in just a moment ago as he heads out onto another portion of the motocross track. Looks like that's Miller. And Jesse James once again aboard the utility machine. Thompson, this is in one of the bottom sections of the course. This is probably the wettest portion of the course out here. As Mike Charlton aboard the 712 checks in. I believe Charlton and Baker usually battling it out in the vet classes. As you can see, Baker now, he checks in for the number 2 spot with Jordan Pfizer from the C class right behind him. But Charlton and Baker always duking out. They're pretty much trading wins at every round here. Dating all the way back to about 2011. As Longstreth checks in one more time in the B class aboard the 156 Yamaha. Connor Conkle back in once again on the 101 machine. The Honda Mountain rider. Conkle about 13 years of age, I believe. As he makes his transition to graduate up into the bigger machines like you see Pierce on. Pierce just letting the bike do the work, keeping loose legs, just letting the machine go. As opposed to the 4-wheel drive Can-Am that Terry James is on. James going with a sit-down approach. Maybe that has something to do with his age. Just kidding, Terry. Cole Shiflett continues to check in. Shiflett looked like he had a little bit more grip, and it looked like he was more planting that machine where he wanted to go. Tyler Miller back to the sit-down style, standing up towards the end a little bit. I know watching these guys in the turns, they sit down a lot. Not sure what they do through the straightaways. Looks like Thompson goes more up on the peg style. Jesse James continuing to work his utility machine. I believe that's a Grizzly maybe, Omaha? Not too sure. As Charlton checks back in once again. There is Pfizer aboard the 14, so Pfizer has passed up Baker, who should be next. And there is Baker aboard the 795. We're getting close to the end here. I believe that's Tim Lutz, who runs third in the 40-plus class. Longstreth with the goggles off. Looks like he's starting to overheat just a little bit. Maybe not overheat, but definitely get a little hot underneath that helmet. So once again, we're getting towards the end. Pierce. He looks comfortable on that Yamaha. He knows he's got a big lead over Shiflet. Conker goes through once again. Shiflet back in. Shiflet still trying to run down Pierce. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Pierce looks like to have this one in control. Gilbert checks in once again for the C class. Cole Shiflet tries to make the double up the hill. A couple guys behind him. Towards the end of the day, the track's starting to dry out. Matt Pierce gets a little sideways. He knows he's got this one in the bag. Pierce with the Pro Class win. Miller with the B Class win. Thompson wins the C. Charlton the 40+. And Jesse James wins the utility. Connor Conkle with the youth production. Thanks, everyone, for watching here at Action Sports. Make sure to join us next time. I'm Kyle Wolfe. See you at the races.